Hi everyone, welcome to the Diecast Collection Videos channel. Here is the Monster High Ghoul Mobile by Hot Wheels. The Ghoul Mobile looks like some sort of a very modified convertible turned into a fantasy horror fun car. That's how I can just describe this car. I picked this up because it looks plausible when it becomes a real car. It has the details just like in the real car. So if Mattel decides to make this into a real car for their exhibit, I think they can actually pull that off because this is a nice engineered car. I also read a little bit about the Ghoulmobile. This car appeared in, I guess, some episodes of the Monster High cartoon series. Monster High collectors and fans go easy on me. I really don't know much about the Monster High toy line, but I appreciate the way that this car has been created because it does look like it's possible to make this in real life. Hence, I picked this up for my collection. This car also has a real counterpart that allows the dolls of the Monster High line to actually get into the car. I haven't seen that real version, the large playset, so I'm just going to have to reference what the playset car has into this diecast model. Seeing this diecast model, the details are pretty nice. I also found out that I just guessed that this car belonged to the vampire character, Draculaura, and once I opened the packaging and then checked the details on the car, my guess was indeed correct, and we're gonna see why I guessed correctly as we go on to the video. Let's take a look at the Ghoulmobile starting in the front. The Ghoulmobile has a pair of fangs in the center. Look at that. A pair on the top and then another pair at the bottom, and it's in front of the grill. Seeing the fangs, I'm pretty sure that this belonged to the character Draculaura, and I read a little bit on the wiki about the car, and it does indeed belong to Draculaura. She drives this car. There are the front lights here in the form of the eye, and that's pretty interesting. It even has some paint designs for the eyelids. There are also paints in the lights in the front, and I'm guessing these are the fog lights. There are these painted casting details. Not really sure what these are for, so I'm just gonna have to say that these are most likely for the signal lights. I'm just guessing here because it doesn't say anything much. There are also details here on the sides, just at the bottom of the eyes, lights, and that is for the air intake. There are some paint designs on the top, and there are additional details on the windshield that we're gonna explore later as we go along to the video. The pink part, that is the grill and the bottom fangs, is going across towards the back, and that forms the middle part of the car. We're gonna check more of it. Oh, before we do that, we can see a little bit of the base here based on how the lip kind of raised up here. I think if you use your imagination, you can see a form of a bat in the lip. Pretty interesting. At the driver's side on the left, okay, the driver's wheel is on the left, we can see that there are more paint designs that starts at the back of the front fender, goes to the center and to the back. That forms some sort of a web design. I guess the web design is also part of the costume of the character Draculaura, or maybe as part of the theme of the Monster High toy line. Not really sure about that. But plenty of paint designs starting here at the back of the front fender, going to the back. The centerpiece that forms the lip, bumper, and then going to the back that forms also the base and then the fenders. There's even an air vent at the back, just below the fin web. At the passenger side, let me see if there are different details. I guess they're the same. The fender, the web paint design over here, and the wheels are of the same size, and that's what I like about this car. The other reason that I also picked this model because this is a car that can be made into a real car if Mattel chooses to for an exhibit. Same sized wheels, I like that. And then side view mirrors, look at that. They even included this in this fantasy model. Even the other side has the side view mirror. Very nice. Detail that is kind of hidden is the door handle. It's kind of oriented in an upward angle. So if you're going to open this, you have to twist your wrist a little bit. If you're going to use this car, you're going to open the door. I'm guessing that the door opens from here. That can be in the form of a wing, and that's interesting. The paint on the rim is kind of different when you compare this to the plastic part. I guess the color of the plastic, the pink plastic, differs greatly to the pink paint applied on the rim. Let's take a look at the back. Now we see here at the back, it does not have any paint design. It does have paints on the sides, the front, and even the top that we're going to check after the back. But the back does not have any paint designs. And this is one of the common setup that Hot Wheels does on their diecast models on the main line. Mostly, they omit a side to be painted in order to concentrate to the other sides I mentioned earlier, and that is one setup, maybe for cost reduction or something like that, not really sure, but the back does not have any paints. It does have casting details for the backlights, for the brake lights. That is also part of the pink plastic that we saw earlier from the front and the sides. License plate holder in the center. The license plate holder has a different casting detail compared to the bumper. And there's this indentation for the trunk door, I guess. Just connecting to the fin on the right that ends on the fin on the left. At the bottom, that is part of the plastic base, are a pair of exhausts. Looking here, there's a paint design on the top that we're going to check later. And for collectors of the Monster High dolls, you'll be able to appreciate that little paint design that we're going to check next. Here's the full top of the Ghoul-mobile. Let's take a look at the front. In the front hood, we can see the web design. It's a paint design that connects to the edges of the front hood, I'm guessing here. Let me check if there's a texture. Okay, there's a texture over here. There's a separation. If you have this car, if you touch the front hood, you can see that the front area has a half in the front that is lower when you touch, and then it goes higher as you start touching the web part. Interesting. We go to the front windshield. I was wondering, what are those for? The front windshield is colored a little bit of green. It appears to be orange. It mixes with the pink color of the interior, but it's actually yellow-green. You can see a little bit of the true color as I make this angle. You can see that? That's a true color, yellow-green. Going back here, I was wondering what are these pips for. When I was touching it, you can feel the pips, the droplets. It appears to be droplets. You can feel the droplets when you touch the windshield. It looks like some sort of droplets that start from the edge on the top that stops in somewhere almost to the middle. Maybe that's most likely for the design of the windshield. We go here. We can see the interior. And then the back part that has these casting details. Not really sure what this is for. Maybe that's for the gas door. I'm just making a guess here. That's most probably the gas door of the car. More of the fin at the back. And then some more webs. And here, the skull logo of the Monster High toy line. The printing is very nice. Now that I've seen the back, the top part of the back, that is, by the way, this is the dark violet, are all metal, and the rest are made of plastic. Now going back here at the back, I can't help but think that it looks like a part of the classic Batmobile. Just look at this. I mean, it does look similar with the fin at the back. That is actually for the web fin. And then these casting details just behind the headboard. They look like a reference to the Batmobile, the classic one. That's pretty nice. Let's continue looking at the interior after checking the back. The interior is, I think, made also with the same material as the pink plastic starting in the front and that we saw on the sides. We can see a pair of car seats with cushions. Okay, looking at the headboard. Are these horns? And that's interesting. See that? Horns over here and then over there. Going to the insides, we have here the transmission stick, the handbrake, the driver's wheel on the left. This is pretty cool. The designer included casting details for the seatbelt connector just behind the handbrake. Very nice. There's even a cup holder in front of the transmission stick. What I found in the center, this is the center console. I'm pretty sure this is the console. What's interesting is the way it was created. You'll be able to know what is this shape. It's a hexagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 sides, but it's in the form of the shape of a coffin. The coffin shape is often being used in the Monster High toy line. I remember seeing this coffin shape in their boxes, the packaging of the dolls, when I saw them at the stores, and they added this into the car, and that's interesting actually. I mean, they added the shape, so maybe in their real playset there are more details in the center console coffin shape, coffin shaped center console. Maybe there are stickers and controls, but here in the small diecast model, they just retain the shape, and that's okay. Nothing much at the flooring. Looking at the interior, it's a bit larger than the other diecast models released in the main line, and that tells us that this Ghoulmobile is a small vehicle based on how the interior has been scaled or sized. Looking at the base, we get to see the details of the car, the copyright information, the name of the car. But now I observed that newer Hot Wheels, I think they are going to be placing the copyright information in this oval panel in the center. So I guess it's going to be to make it easier to read the name of the car and the other details in the upcoming models. At the front, or the sides of the oval panel, the front and the back wheel details, such as the axles, are present. There's some more detail of the exhaust. I'm pretty sure that the details in this small diecast model are also present in the larger playset. We saw a glimpse of what the playset has with this diecast model, and that's pretty interesting. This ends my video art on the Monster High Ghoulmobile by Hot Wheels. Thanks for watching, enjoy your collection, and see you with the next model.